Now, what if I told you that Marvel Studios still had a major trick up their sleeve? That although it had been reported as a panic pivot from King the Conqueror into Doctor Doom as the big bad of the Multiverse Saga, that they had actually laid the groundwork for this, and from the beginning of the Infinity Saga with the very first entry into the MCU in Iron Man 1. And while you may think I'm referring to the mask of the Mark I that clearly resembles Doctor Doom's and has already been the case in point of many a YouTube video, we're actually referring to the miniature arc reactor. And although it had already been invented, remember he says he has a larger one running his lab at home, it was the application and reapplying of the science to create a miniature arc reactor to suit his needs that's at the heart of today's video. And we're going to go ahead and try not to stretch harder than Reed Richards. And we're going to explain this delicately woven theory that the arc reactor, an invention of Tony Stark's, was borrowed by none other than Doctor Doom and forged in the form of a much bigger arc reactor, the Sacred Timeline, and he was using it to power something very important to him, and everything was going great, well, until what happened at the end of Loki Season 2. We're breaking it down, Marvel's longest running Easter egg, that the Sacred Timeline was simply an enormous arc reactor, and we're going to explain exactly what it was doing for Doctor Doom, and what its role in the plot is now that it's been destroyed. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately and helped grow the channel. If you haven't already, you enjoy this content, or you want to support us, the best way to do it is by hitting the subscribe button, plus it'll enter you for all the giveaways. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment. If you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so very quickly before we jump into this video, we do need to clarify at least one piece of canon that I actually see mistaken quite a bit. The Sacred Timeline does not refer to solely the 616. The Sacred Timeline is what we saw presented encircling the Citadel of He Who Remains as a collection of realities, a collection of universes that was woven into a circular path through the loom in order to control for there being no multiversal war. It is not simply the 616, it is the stack of timelines that was controlled, the timelines that the TVA were looking to prune in order not to create branch realities and overload the loom. Okay, we're all on the same page, or should I say timeline? Pun totally intended? Good. Now in a video we'll link at the end of this, we already speculated that Battleworld has already been revealed officially by Marvel in that laser show that they revealed for Avengers Doomsday at the Shanghai Expo, in that there is an enormous tower with pieces of triangular multiverse as shown in What If, all within one monolith that has a keyhole, and that key is actually placed on Doctor Doom's belt, and that this resembles what will become Battleworld in Avengers Secret Wars, but rather his own building of a universe. And as we pointed out alongside the monolith of Battleworld during that video, his costume certainly has borrowed many aspects from other Avengers we suppose that he's already beaten in the past, like Captain Marvel, Thor, Shang-Chi, and even Iron Man, as there's repulsors in his gloves. And again, that's a very short synopsis. You can watch the video in full. It will be linked at the end of this. But if he is stealing tech and artifacts from other Avengers, and for that matter, the man's face, it would follow that he would definitely steal the arc reactor as well, especially if he needed to power something. And in that very same laser show at the end, the very first thing we see manifests between his gauntlets is what looks like the outside of an arc reactor. Now, as part of this speculation, we argued that Marvel Studios is not going to go ahead and run out the end of Avengers Doomsday in their very first reveal in a light show over a year and a half early. Probably, this is going to show us details that the movie opens with, maybe even details that we see during the very first trailer. And if we're right about this, that means that Doctor Doom has his own version of either a multiverse or one singular timeline in a monolith that only he has a key to. As established by canon, he would need an immense power source in order to run even one timeline. And it's our conjecture that the Sacred Timeline, coupled with the Loom, was simply an enormous arc reactor in order to power that timeline. He used He Who Remains as a pawn, and the fact that it kept all the other Kangs at bay is simply a way to create a circle, an endless supply of power for his own little branch reality where his rumored dead family could be alive and they could be together. It's our conjecture that that's been going and for quite some time, and everything was perfect and fine until Loki broke the loom at the end of season 2 and turned what was a circular, endless supply of power for Doctor Doom's own timeline into the Yggdrasil world tree, and in doing so, ended his ability to be with his family, which sent him on his revenge quest to go after Loki and try to either restore the timeline or, if he could, replace them. and we think there's a chance that with someone like an Omega level mutant, highest level reality warper in Franklin Richards, in combination with taking the power from Loki, God of Stories, and assuming his seat on the throne as God Emperor Doom, he may be able to do just that in lieu of not having a loom or being able to reconstruct it, now again that the sacred timeline has been turned into a world tree. So this revenge quest that he's rumored to be on is because everything was going fine. Up until now, Dr. Doom had his own timeline with his family, powered by the sacred timeline, which was really just a huge arc reactor in order for him to live in his branch reality, a world where everything was perfect around him. Loki ended all that, and that is why he has now entered the chat and ready to go at Loki at all costs in order to restore that power source, or better yet, create Battleworld once he becomes God Emperor Doom. And between the power that Loki, God of Stories, has right now and Franklin Richards, if he can somehow harness the two, he may not need the loom at all. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below about any and all of this. I know that this requires some level of theory building based on what we've seen, and so there are more than just a couple of conclusions I had to draw. But also keep in mind that Dr. Doom is a true narcissist through and through, and anything he thinks he deserves, he's just going to simply steal. That's part of being a narcissist, is being a thief. He has no qualms with that whatsoever, and if he's going to go as far as to steal Tony Stark's face to get what he wants, he wouldn't stop at stealing their tech and ingeniously using it in a different application, say enlarging it to be, well, the size of the sacred timeline. But again, you guys let me know all your thoughts down below about this crazy theory, whether you think it has merit, or maybe, again, I stretched harder than Reed Richards. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, so giving away PS5s. We'll do that for every Marvel drop next year. We're also giving away Fire and Ash tickets. All you gotta do be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comment shown on screen, so please be safe and vigilant across YouTube. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms with original music under the name All Fires. Also, All Fires will be live in Atlanta next Friday on December 5th at Club Lore. It's a late night show. I'll leave a link down in the description and comments if you want to grab them. It'll be a rager. We'll see you there, or I'll see you in the next video. Peace.